Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's ASA Exclusive here. Hope you're doing well. So in this video I've got two tops which I upcycled recently and two like summer style tops, and I thought I'd share the process with you guys. The first one is a bell sleeve top with off shoulder like bandeau style cropped, which it looks leddish. And then second one is like a strappy tie up back and halter neck top with like a little flap at the bottom. I kind of winged that one and made it up a little bit because I wasn't entirely sure what I was doing, but I filmed the process anyway, and I'll try to like explain it as simply as I can, so you guys, if you would like to replicate it or try it or whatever you want to do. Also, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe so you don't miss any more videos, and I will be trying to kind of pump one out every week or so. So yeah, we'll see how we go. I hope you enjoy the video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye! So the first thing we're going to need to do is we're going to cut out our sleeves, and the trouser leg was originally 30 centimeters wide, and then I've just cut about 50 centimeters long for the sleeve part. And then once that's cut out, we're just going to put it to the side for later. Next we're on to the top part of it, and for this it's best to measure on yourself what dimensions you need, but I used about 22 centimeters on the width of this and about 35 for the length of it, and I just used it around my sort of boob part and then just gonna cut two pieces of that out, and we're gonna put them together and then sew the sides together. Now you're going to want to put the right sides facing together and then pin along the two sides, and we're going to stitch them together. Once that's done, we're going to need to fold over about 1 centimeter and add the elastic by threading it through. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to stitch along the bottom of the top end, and then leave a small opening at the end so that you can thread through your elastic. So what I've done is I've just used a safety pin to do this, and this is quite a thin piece of elastic. So I've double knotted it quite a few times so it doesn't get lost or come off from the safety pin, and then once that's done we're going to start threading it through the whole tunnel we made. Once that's done and we've pulled the safety pin elastic out the other end, we're going to knot it. Knot it a few times so it's really secure and doesn't fall apart inside the top, and re-secure it in place, and then hide it back into the tunnel and stitch the rest, and then it should look something like this. Back to the sleeves, we're just going to do the same thing we did to the top sides of the top, but we're going to do it on one side of the sleeve, leaving the other side open, and we're going to do the same process. And once both sleeves are done, it should look like this, and then all we have to do is just stitch them together to the top part, and it is all good to go. And for the stitching, I went over it quite a few times so it's quite secure, and luckily this fabric is quite stretchy so it gives a bit of room as well, so you can get into it quite easily. So I would recommend using quite a stretchy fabric just for ease. But yeah, that's pretty much the process, and that's how it's done. For top number 2, what I did was I actually measured around my body to see what sizes I need and dimensions, and I ended up cutting it into 3 sections just because I didn't have enough fabric for a full width of it, because these were originally a pair of trousers, so I just improvised and made them into sections. I just literally measured it on myself and created the shape, but if you have enough fabric you can do it in one shape. So once I cut those pieces out, I did 2 of each. I then started pinning them together to sew them in place to get one full panel for the top side. Once you stitch all the sides together for both pieces, we're going to then put these two pieces together by putting the right sides together, and we're only going to stitch along the sides and the top end, leaving the bottom open. This will be used to attach our flap later. For straps, you're going to need 6 of these, measuring about 40 centimeters in length, and when you fold it over, it'll be like about 1 centimeter in width. And then when you stitch them together, we're going to turn it inside out using a face safety pin, threading it all the way through. Once it pulled out, and because some of the gaps are open, I went over it again, folded it in half, and then did a stitch on the side so it gives it a bit more structure. Once that's done, we're going to rip little holes from the side seams and the top seams. We're going to thread these straps through and pin them in place so that when we flip it inside out, the straps will be on the outside and nicely tucked away. And then it should look something like this. And then for the bottom part, I'm just getting a bit of fabric that I have left over. So the width of this was about 10 centimeters. So I've just put the two sides together, stitched it as you can see, and then turned it inside out to get the bottom flap of the top. Then we're just simply going to pin that to the rest of the top and do a good straight stitch across, which is what I just did. And then when you flip it around, it should look like this, all nice, secure and tidy in place. And that is the top. Pretty simple to do. Doesn't take that much time. Just a bit tricky, I guess, with the straps. That's probably the hardest part. But other than that, it's a pretty simple, straightforward top, and it's perfect for the summertime. So that is it on these two tops I've done. Hope it was pretty simple, and hope you enjoyed it. Bye.